Welcome to another edition of the Screen Team on today's Talk 930 KWOC. We have a very special show for you because we have our good friend Laura Butler is back in the studio ready to do some movie reviews. Laura, good to see you.
Thank you. I'm glad to be back.
And of course, we have our third person on the team, Sabrina J. But she's not in the studio with us. She is on the phone. Sabrina, where are you at right now?
Oh, I'm up in Illinois. Just, hanging out.
You're hanging out in Illinois, and you're doing the Screen Team. We appreciate you, Beb.
Hey, anything for my peeps.
Awesome. We got a good show, and we've got what I believe are three pretty good family flicks. Laura, what do we have going on today?
Well, I am a big fan because I have an 8-year-old nephew, Noah. Give him a little shout out. He's wanted to be on Screen Team someday. He really liked these three movies. He didn't get to see Pan, which was one of my first picks. The one that's newly released in theaters was Pan. And then Nanny McPhee is an oldie but goodie that just cracks us up. And then the story of Max. It's about a canine war dog, actually. Okay. So they're all very family-friendly movies. So.
Okay, let's start off with Nanny McPhee. This film is, I guess, relatively new. It came out in 2005, so about 10 years old. Mm-hmm. The movie stars Emma Thompson as the title character, and this was actually a series of books before it became a movie,
right?
I
believe so. Mm-hmm.
So what is Nanny McPhee? Is she like a Mary Poppins type of person?
No, not really. She, there's a quote that she says in the movie, and the kind of the underlying tone of the whole thing. She goes to this family, and these kids are just complete and total brats.
They're pretty bad.
Awful, like the worst. And they drive on purpose. They drive every other nanny caretaker away, like screaming from the home, literally. And their dad is a widower, and he just doesn't know what to do with them. And then he goes to the agency to find a new nanny, and they won't even have him.
Yeah.
So he just doesn't know what to do, and he's like an ad or something floats through his door, and it says, and he hears this voice that says, "The nanny you need is Nanny McPhee."
Right.
And he's like, "What?" And he doesn't, but then all of a sudden he gets this knock on the door, and she's standing there, and she's hideous. She's terrible,
yes,
terrifying
she is,
looking, but she's very stern. And what she says to the kids when they tell her that they'll get rid of her, she said, "When you need me but do not want me, then I must stay. But when you want me and no longer need me, then I must go." So when you watch the movie, you have to remember that line throughout, because it makes a lot of sense as you go on through.
Yeah. Sabrina, is this is like one of your favorites? You like this film, right?
I did like this. In fact, I bought it, and you were like, "Oh, what'd you buy that for?"
I did say that, yeah.
But yeah, Luke and I watched it, and it's a fun movie. I mean, it's a lot of times people say, "Oh, it's just a wannabe Mary Poppins," but truly, it isn't. It's similar because it has a nanny, it has unruly kids, and kids who just want their parents' attention. But it has different lessons to be learned than what you find in Mary Poppins, and there's no dancing penguins or anything like that. So, but I think that the movie is very clever and a nice addition to your child's library, because it does teach them certain types of lessons, and we all know that every kid needs to learn something.
Absolutely.
That's right. I watched this movie for the first time the other night, and Laura, I thought about you watching this film, not just because you picked it, but because you're in a new profession now. You're looking after little ones and stuff like that, and I just thought of like, wow, is Laura? Is she like Nanny McPhee now? is she?
Oh,
is she?
Nice
is she like
to have the power, the little cane, just crack it on the thing, and everything would just do. No, it's a little more complicated in real life, but I like that this. The one thing I really liked about this movie was the way she progresses, the way they see her. Like it's kind of like, I think in life it's metaphorical. Like sometimes when you see someone to begin with, you don't like them, and maybe they're ugly to you, but then as you get to know them, their looks change. And because you see their heart, they're more beautiful to you, like in vision.
That makes perfect sense.
And that movie kind of shows that. And I think that's important for kids, because kids are so wound up in, what do you look like? What clothes are you wearing? And all this kind of thing. I think people need to look through and see the heart
Yeah.
And that's a good lesson for kids to learn anymore.
Very, very true. I guess I was maybe reading into much of this film, but the kid's mother had passed away.
Mm-hmm.
So Nanny McPhee was not like an incarnation of their mother, right? She was just
I don't think so. No.
Okay. So why was Nanny McPhee talking at the very end, talking to the empty chair?
Well, I didn't honestly get that part. But when the mother let them have everything, like the mother was like, because remember when she goes downstairs and tells them the kids are sick, the cook's like, well, I guess they're going to have sweets and this got to start getting this ready. Then she's like, no, I think they, she tells them to make them this awful, whatever it was. But, she was like the antithesis, honestly, to the mom. She was the mom could have been, but was too soft-hearted to be, I guess.
Right.
So.
And of course,
well, and
go ahead.
The important thing to remember here is that you've got your perfect image of a mother. Every child sees their mother in one of two ways. When they're happy, their mothers are the sweetest, most angelic people they know. Yeah. The first face they see, that kind of thing, and they're their nurse. The mother is the caregiver, the provider, the treat giver, the one who, all the good things. And then when the child is bad and misbehaving, then they see the disciplinarian. They see the one who says, no, you can't have that because it's bad for you. Right. And the one that they learn to fear. So they have to learn and accept the duality of a mother's position. And I think the same goes for fathers. It's just that this particular movie focused on the weaknesses of the mother and the weaknesses of the father. And Nanny McPhee comes in to help bring out the strengths of the father that he doesn't know he has. Because mother isn't there, she'd have done the same thing.
Right.
You know what I really liked about this movie? I liked the costume designs. I liked the way everybody was kind of made up, and I liked the I guess the overall location design, just how colorful everything was, and it was just everything seemed over the top, but it was done on purpose. It was just a lot of beautiful colors, and it made it more of a fantasy world, but also a believable fantasy world too, which I really liked as well. I'm trying to kind of gander an age range with this particular movie. Laura, is this a particular film that you would show your young ones in school?
Well, I have 2-year-olds, so I don't think it wouldn't hurt to show them. Like it's not. There's no cussing. There's no inappropriateness at all. But it's to hold their attention. I would say probably 4 or 5 at least.
Okay.
And then on up forever, because it's just. I mean, if you're that kind of person that you enjoy like a good comedy and a heartfelt lesson, then I think you would like it.
Sabrina, you agree with that?
I certainly do.
Okay. The movie is called Nanny McPhee, and you can check it out on DVD. Coming up after the break, we're going to review Max on Today's Talk 930 KWOC.